Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, peace be with you, and welcome to another topic of our program, The Benefits. The Benefits, the title of the book, written by Al-Qayem. It's full of benefits, full of spirituality. In this program, we read under the title, Hikam Wa'idhat, Wisdoms and Advices. He tells us that the deal with Allah and the trade with Allah, it contains no loss in it. It's always gaining and successful. It is a fully and lasting success in this life and in the hereafter. But those who made themselves busy with themselves rather than being busy with Allah, they are the greatest losers in their deal. This is what he says. He says, he who should be knowing himself, he should be maintaining, busy with reforming himself rather than being busy with the mistakes, talking about the mistakes of the others, the faults of the others. He should be observing his own faults and problems. And he who had known his Lord, he will be busy with his Lord than his own desire. Then he said, people entered the fire through three doors. They entered fire through three doors. A door of shubha, suspicion, that succeeded doubt in Allah's religion. I repeat, the first door, the door of suspicion that resulted doubt in Allah's religion. The second, a door of lust that lasted preferring one's desire over Allah's obedience and seeking Allah's pleasure. That means seeking his own pleasure rather than seeking Allah's pleasure. The third door is a door of anger that resulted assault and oppression against Allah's creature. Those are the three doors that resulted hell and punishment of Allah. Then he went on by saying, the three origins, the grounds of sins, the basis of sins. He mentioned also three: arrogance, and by that arrogance, the devil became devil. Satan became a devil because of that arrogance. Because he said, I am better than Adam. You created me from fire, but you created him from dust. So arrogance is the origin of sins that caused the devil to become an evil creature. The second one is the desire or eagerness. Desire and eagerness, which exiled Adam from sin. You see, Adam sinned and the devil sinned, but the sin of Adam was based on lust, while the sin of the devil was based on arrogance. That made the punishment of the devil is greater than the punishment of Adam. In a matter of fact, Adam repented to Allah. But after that, Adam lost something. And this is also another lesson, that sometimes when we commit a sin, we may lose something by that sin. We may lose some good because of that sin. Yes, you repented, but it doesn't mean that there's nothing. No, when we repent, we do something wrong, we are going to lose something good. So the first ground or the base or origin of sin is arrogance. The second one is eagerness or desire. And the third one is envy. And envy is also one of the reasons that caused one of the sons of Adam, that is, we call him Qabil, to commit a crime against his brother Habil, the other one. 3 bases or sources of sin. Those 3 things we should forget, and we should try our best to maintain the heart from being attacked by one of those origins of sin: arrogance, eagerness, and envy. Ibn Al-Qayem said, he or whoever is prevented from those 3 things, he had been already protected from the whole evil. For blasphemy is the result of arrogance, and the sins are the result of eagerness, and oppression and wrongdoing or oppressing people is the result of hasad, which is envious. Then Ibn al-Qayyim went to mention something here that shows the importance of the heart. He said, Allah, by His will, He made every single part among the parts of the sons of Adam is a tool for something, a tool for something. If he uses that tool on its proper face or angle or aspect, he's going to be perfect. The eye is the tool of sight. The ear is the tool of hearing. The nose is the tool of smelling, etc., etc. The hand to grab, but the heart was created for monotheism, loving Allah and knowing Allah by His oneness and greatness. And the spirit was created for love, and the mind was created for thinking about the consequences of the lively things, and the things that are related to the hereafter. He ended by bringing some beautiful wisdom or incident or a dialogue, a small dialogue, a short dialogue that occurred between some people. One of them is known as Al-Aswad ibn Salim, who said, 2 units that I performed to Allah is more beloved to me than paradise. 2 units that I performed to Allah are more beloved to me than paradise. They said, watch out. That's wrong. He said, forget about what you're saying. You're saying that's wrong? Forget about it. Tell me about this. Paradise is the pleasure of my soul, but the 2 units are the pleasure of my Creator. And I love to proceed the pleasure of my Creator than the pleasure of my own soul. I repeat, the pleasure of my Creator, of my Lord, is more beloved to me than the pleasure of myself. Well, it's a good dialogue, it's a good point, but we know that the consequence, the result of being beloved by Allah is paradise. There is no person that Allah loves, but He's not going to grant him paradise. Well, that brings us to another also point. Is there anyone who is beloved by Allah, but he's not happy? I remember a beautiful poetry in Arabic. The tone is beautiful. Usually we don't mention them in Arabic, but because of the beauty of the tone of that poetry, I'm going to say it in Arabic, then I translate it. He says, وَلَسْتُ أَرَى السَّعَادَةَ جَمْعَ مَالٍ وَلَكِنَّ التَّقِيَّ هُوَ السَّعِيدُ. I do not see happiness and pleasure is through collecting money. But the one who fears Allah is the real happy one. That's a very important point. And the poetry by itself is very beautiful. I repeat the tone. وَلَسْتُ أَرَى السَّعَادَةَ جَمْعَ مَالٍ وَلَكِنَّ التَّقِيَّ هُوَ السَّعِيدُ. This is the truth. The more you fear Allah, the more you obey Allah the Almighty, the more you'll be happy. Happiness is through obeying Allah. Those hearts that our bodies contain, they will never experience happiness except by loving Allah the Almighty. That is why, that brings us to another question. When we talk about pleasure and happiness, we're not talking about the physical happiness, because the physical happiness is very short and temporary happiness. When we talk about the happiness, we're talking about the eternal happiness that will be attained in this life and the other life. Why is this? Because the physical pleasure of or happiness that causes the person or conducted by the account of the disobedience of Allah, this kind of happiness, physical happiness, the body happiness, will be on the account of the suffer of the heart. You know that when you sin, what happens to your heart? You feel it. You know it. That's why people want to flee from that suffer they feel. By drugs, by alcohol, by things that give temporary calmative, that give a temporary tranquility that they're seeking, because they don't want to feel, they don't want to encounter the suffer of that kind of temporary happiness that gave them the happiness of the body on the account of the happiness of the heart. This is something that we're going to elaborate on and focus on the next episode of the benefit. Be with us on the next episode, inshallah. We ask Allah to grant me and you all happiness, the happiness of this life and the happiness of the hereafter. Thank you very much. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.